Another effective preventative maintenance measure is a scheduled periodic visual inspection of each pump unit to assure availability in the event of an emergency. To visually inspect pump unit frame. Inspect skids for cracks or damage. Inspect carrying handles for proper operation, damage, loose pins, or loose mounting hardware. Inspect engine mounts for cracks, damage, or loose bolted connections. Inspect pump suction, discharge, and exhaust threads for damage. Inspect hoses, tubes, fittings, and clamps. Inspect for loose or damaged clamps and fittings. Inspect hoses and tubes for signs of leaks, cracks, kinks, bulges, or deterioration. Inspect recoil starter. Inspect starter housing for cracks or loose mounting hardware. Slowly pull starter rope fully out and inspect for wear. Inspect starter rope guide for cracks or damage. Inspect the following controls and indicators for damage and proper operation. Engine speed lever and thumb screw assembly. Throttle linkage assembly. Fuel cock valve. Exhaust primer shutoff valve. Pump drain valve. Compound pressure gauge. Fuel level tube. Inspect exhaust priming assembly. Inspect primer exhaust lever valve assembly for damage at pivot or damaged disc seat. Inspect exhaust body discharge for damage or carbon buildup that would prevent exhaust priming. Inspect exhaust valve lever adjustment screw setting. Inspect to see if exhaust priming ejector is free from carbon buildup or obstructions. Inspect air filter housing for damage or corrosion. Inspect engine assembly. Inspect for leaking gaskets, fittings, or seals. Inspect for corrosion of engine castings, covers, and mounting and assembly hardware. Inspect flywheel cover for damage, corrosion, or loose mounting hardware. It is recommended that idle equipment be manually turned on a weekly basis, especially in a marine environment. To manually turn engine pump shaft, ensure the fuel cutout valve at the bottom of the fuel tank is in the S closed position. Ensure the throttle lever thumb screw is tightened in the stop position. Manual turning of the shaft is performed to reduce the compression of the pump shaft packing. Do not operate the pump unit dry. Do not start the pump unit when manually turning the engine pump shaft. Immediately stop the engine if the engine starts when performing this procedure. Slowly pull out starter recoil handle until strong resistance is felt and return handle to initial position. Push down the compression release lever. Slowly pull out the starter recoil handle for 3 full extensions of the starter rope. Pull up the compression release lever. Return pump unit to readiness condition.